Hi there. In this video, I'm going to be looking at global financial management strategies, particularly methods of international payment. Now, this is part 2 of 3 of global financial management strategies. Now, I'm going to be looking at methods of international payment, going through basically a spectrum of level of risk for the exporter from least through to most risk for the exporter. So we're going to imagine we're sending stuff from Australia to overseas. Which one's going to be the least risk for us through to the most risk? So the least risk is called payment in advance. So what this is basically it allows the exporter to receive payment first and then arrange for the goods to be sent. So there's virtually no risk for the exporter because they get the money and then they send the goods overseas. However, the importer faces the most risk because once they've sent the money, then there's no real guarantee that whoever here in Australia is sending it across actually does send the goods across. Next, I guess, in level of risk, which is still quite low, is letter of credit. So a letter of credit is a commitment by the importer's bank which promises to pay the exporter a specified amount when the documents proving shipment of goods are presented. So what this means is, let's say we're transporting, red t-shirts from Australia to Japan. So it's a commitment by the importer's bank. So the Japanese bank has, basically a piece of paper that says once whoever here in Australia is sending them across sends across a copy of documents that show that they're on the boat or on the plane or wherever it is that they're going, how they're getting there. Once they've got proof that they've been shipped, then the bank will release the money. So this offers less risk for the exporter because it relies on the overseas bank rather than the actual importer, the actual person itself. So the bank is the one that is basically, taking care of the transaction. Once the commitment is made, it can't be withdrawn unless there's, exceptional circumstances. Okay? But again, it's still quite low risk for the exporter because all they need to do is provide proof that they've sent the documents and that the bank will release the money. So then the next, on this list, however, still quite low risk for the exporter, is clean payment. Okay, so a clean payment, also known as a clean remittance. So this is the easiest and quickest method of settling an international transaction. The payment is sent to, but not received by the exporter before the goods are transported. So there's got to be complete trust between both parties here. So there's less risk, low risk for the exporter, but importers don't normally favour this method of payment. So how this works is basically the money is sent across to, the red t-shirt company here in Australia. But let's say I'm the owner of the, red t-shirt company in Australia. I can't actually receive that money until the goods are transported. Okay, we're working our way up through the spectrum of risk for the exporter. So the ones which carry, I guess, the most risk is known as a bill of exchange. And there's two little types that we're going to look at. So there's a document against payment and a document against acceptance. So firstly, bills of exchange. So bill of exchange, it's a document drawn up by the exporter demanding payment from the importer at a specified time. So this is widely used as the exporter maintains control over the goods until payment is made or guaranteed. So let's say again that I run the Australian Red T-shirt company and I'm sending red T-shirts to America. I will draw up a document that says you can pay me in, let's say, 60 days' time. Okay? Now, until that 60 days is here and you pay me, I control the goods. So if I then, within that 60 days, say I want them all back, because technically you haven't paid me yet anyway, I can do that. Okay? So until I receive the money, I still maintain all control. So within a bill of exchange, we've got a document or a bill against payment. So the importer can collect the goods only after paying for them. So they could be sitting in a shipping yard in the middle of, in the middle of the shipping port in California, wherever it may be, somewhere in California, the importer can only collect the goods only after paying for them. Okay? So the exporter draws up a bill of exchange with the Australian bank, so I draw it up with my Australian bank, and I send it to the importer's bank. So the bank whoever the person in California is with. Once the importer makes the payment, the importer's bank hands over the documents to claim the goods. Okay? Then the importer's bank then sends the money over to me. So until they pay their bank, their bank won't give them basically the receipt or the proof of purchase that says you now own these goods. So once they've paid them, they hand over that document that says you now own them, then they then send me the money. The risk with this is, the person who I'm sending them to may just never collect the documents or pay for the goods. So they're just sitting in a shipping container in the middle of nowhere, basically, with no one taking them. Then we've got a document or a bill against acceptance. With this one here, the importer may collect the goods before paying for them. The same process applies as above, except the importer must sign only acceptance and the terms of the transaction to receive the documents. That then allows them to pay for the goods at a later date. The risk with this is the importer may delay payment or not pay at all. So I've sent a shipping container full of red t-shirts across. They sign a piece of paper basically that says they accept the goods and they promise to pay within 60 days. And then they get their documentation that says they now own them and they get to do what they want with them. As I said, the risk is they can then just never pay me. And I've lost money. So this one here is the most riskiest for the exporter. So I hope this brief video on methods of international payment has been useful. The next and final video in the finance unit will be part 3 of global financial management, and we'll look at hedging and derivatives. Thank you.